Sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Always sponsored.
Today's episode is brought to you
by
by
the polar bears.
Coke and thyroid medication.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix and all Disney Plus and all the other streaming devices that you are using to watch these movies and TV shows. Hello everyone, welcome to Geek the Movies, to a very special Golden Globes episode where we're going to discuss today all the things that went down at the Golden Globes.
Maybe even some that went up. No.
That's funny. We got a lot to get through, so we're just gonna jump right into it. I hope you are all doing good.
Have we ever had better Golden Globes hosts than Amy Poehler and Tina Fey?
Yeah, Ricky Gervais, because he makes fun of everybody.
He was really
He just tortures the audience, and they're like, maybe we shouldn't have Ricky back. Tina Fey and Amy, I think everybody likes Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
They are awesome.
They did a good job, honestly. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about that. So it was the first quarantine pandemic. Did you guys watch it at all or see any clips?
A little bit of it, yeah.
I did.
A little bit. So it was really funny. They had Tina Fey in LA on the stage with half the audience's essential workers, people who EMS, police.
Oh, that's cool. So it wasn't all famous people.
Yeah, the famous people at home.
Awesome. And
then Amy Poehler was in New York City with the other half in New York City. And then the joke that started out was like, welcome to another year at Golden Globes where Hollywood stars don't want to pay the money and to be out into the world, so we fill it up with people who are minimum wage.
Yeah.
Sitting in the audience, and as the Hollywood stars get to stay at home and be safe. And that joke just killed everybody because it was so on the nose.
That's exactly what's happening here. But they all wanted to be there. I'd go.
I'd go.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was wearing masks. I mean, even the people who came to the stage were wearing masks, when they were at the stage. No, sorry, they were wearing the mask before they got on the stage, but then they put the mask back on when they got off the stage. So Amy Poehler.
Love that. It should be the low minimum wage workers who never get to do anything fun. They should be at the reward show.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Why not?
Did they have to pay, or did the Golden Globes pay?
I think it was a lottery, a special year where you were just gonna fill the audience with and kind of treat them. I think the dinner and everything was paid for. It's
That's
usually
cool.
$1,000 worth of meals that they drinking they get.
Wow.
So all these people got treated to the best food and alcohol they'll ever get in their entire lives.
Awesome.
Well, you never know. They might become famous too and get rich somehow. But the point is, I think it was cool. They all dressed up and they got to see some movie stars and TV shows. I mean, I'd go just because Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are hosting. That gets me through the door.
Exactly. and then they were like, you won't even be able to tell we're in different states. And then they reached through the TV and the arm is totally...
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was like, Amy, I missed you, and somebody else's hand came and touched her. I like that. That was funny. But yeah, they did a good job. I don't really remember the jokes, but that's the only joke I really remember that was memorable. But I'm sorry, Keenan and Maya Rudolph played the annoying. These are the people that come to win the award and talk too long and are just super annoying.
Okay.
So they played caricatures of Hollywood movie stars that were like that.
And let me tell you about climate change and all that stuff.
Well, that's every star these days, unfortunately. But the point is, it was really funny because Keenan came and just stuck his tongue down Amy Poehler's throat.
What?
Well, they're friends. He didn't. I mean, because Halle Berry when she won.
Yeah.
And then the pianist Adrian Brody at the time when he won, he just came and just took the Oscar and just stuck his tongue down at Halle Berry's throat, made out with her, won the Oscar, and just said thank you. And
oh God.
It wasn't planned. I was just happy to win the Oscar, and who doesn't want to make out with Halle Berry? I don't know. And she thought, she was okay with it. So I don't know. But anyways, Kanan did that with Amy Poehler to throw back, and then they were just, it was so funny because they just kept rambling on, and it's I like to thank my mom and dad who are up there, and and then Keenan goes I really miss mom and dad, me too. And I can't wait to take you home and have lots of sex with this Golden Globe. And then Amy Poehler's wait, are you guys siblings or are you guys a couple? I'm so confused. And they're just that's right, Amy, you got it. And they just completely ignored her and kept going. And it was really funny. And they said, I like to thank I'd like to thank Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and all the other gods that helped me win this Golden Globe. It was just so great. It was just so funny. I just loved it. So that's the other joke that I really remember. But anyways, long story short, let's move on to some good stuff. Okay, so if you would have asked me 8 months ago, or probably 12 months ago, who would win Best Musical or Comedy? Borat 2 or Hamilton?
Oh.
I would have said Hamilton, but then Borat 2 came out, and
It was really good.
yes, and Borat 2 won Best Musical and Comedy, and Sacha Baron
There's no
Cohen's.
music. Oh, there is music in it. Yeah, there is.
Well,
there
musical.
is.
Well, it's musical or comedy. I
Why
don't
did
know.
they combine those?
That's just
strange.
how it's been.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh.
really understand it. I don't even remember
There
who
is
the other.
music in Borat though.
It is, but
There is a little bit.
a
but
little
it's
bit,
Not,
but
it's
no.
not like a musical though.
No.
Yeah.
it's not. I can't believe it lost to Hamilton though.
Honestly, now that I think about it, and I kind of agree because I've heard a little bit of like people, critics, and New York Times talk about it.
Yeah.
Hamilton is not a movie. It should not
It's
be
not.
nominated.
It's not.
It should have been a
That's good
Tony.
point. Yeah.
And
Yeah, like-
it's also gotten a lot of attention and awards. And
Oh,
Borat
it's
deserved
won a
every
billion
award,
Tony
yeah.
Awards. I think it was just nominated for the sake of just being like, hey, this is what the cool kids are into. Let's just, throw Hamilton up there just so the kids will like it.
Yeah,
Or something
and
like
it's
that.
kind of a few years old at this point. Borat 2 deserved that award. That was a very clever, very funny movie. Go watch it.
Borat 2, yes.
Yeah,
I
really good.
surprisingly-
It's not
It's
like
hilarious.
the first one.
It
And the-
was not at all like the first one.
No.
No, I remember when we were going to review it, I'm like, I'm going to hate this movie. And then I ended up
So
loving
did
it.
I.
I remember telling you, like, we should totally watch Borat 2, and you're like, no. And then you're like, George, they asked us to watch it.
Half the time, like, we love our audience and people who are, who watch us and they give us suggestions, and we always do it. But sometimes you guys just give us suggestions that I want nothing to do with. But I do it anyway because, we're here for you guys and you like hearing our thoughts about movies. So that's what we do. We watched Superman and Lois. I thought it was going to be trash. Me and George fucking loved it. I don't know what to tell you.
Good.
Yep.
Probably better than the movies. So, Borat won, Hamilton lost. I'm okay with it. But if Hamilton won, I would have been mad. I think Borat 2 was just more on point with America today and what it was trying to say.
And you and I are on complete opposite ends of the political spectrum, and we both loved Borat, which is a political movie. So.
And I was,
That's true.
Yeah.
really, and if you watched it, the funniest thing is like I like to. Sacha Baron Cohen, who plays Borat, goes like, I like to thank this Oscar, and everybody's like, oh, he's gonna thank the all-star girl who like kind of broke out through that movie. That was her first role.
She was amazing.
Yeah, and everyone was like, okay.
Amazing.
He goes like, we couldn't have done this movie without him. This award, thank you, Rudy Giuliani, for being the best actor.
Oh, I love it.
And everyone just lost it, and I thought it was great. But no, he did thank her and the whole entire Amazon, crew who supported them making Borat. So that was cool. The second thing is, oh man, like, if you guys haven't watched it, like, it's like a tear fest. Chadwick Boseman won a Pro-Humanist Award, whatever it's called,
Oh, yeah.
for his portrayal of somebody famous that's African American. And his wife thanked it, and she was just like she was literally bawling her eyes out,
Aw.
and just like being like, I want, it was just so sad. But I'm glad he won. But it's like, you really don't realize how much of an impact Chadwick Boseman had, because he was Jackie Robinson, 42. He
Okay.
played the first African American baseball player, the
Yeah.
first one. And he's of course Black Panther, the first African American superhero who was just like, blew it
The
out.
first big one.
He did a lot of he did
Something brown.
my favorite movie last year was Double Out 5, and he
That
played
was
like
good.
this Jesus-like figure, and that movie is so relevant
I
now.
forgot that was Chadwick Boseman. Okay.
Yeah, like he played the guy who got shot in Vietnam, and like,
That movie was interesting.
yeah, but he played like a Jesus-like figure.
Yeah.
And like he said, like, the guy was having PTSD and like almost threw his son out and all this crazy stuff. He said like God is love and like love is God, and he kind of
Yeah.
hugged him and saved him, and then the father died. And I think that movie was more relevant today than it was like when it first came out, because Chadwick Boseman,
Died,
of course,
yeah.
isn't with us
That'd be
anymore.
hard to watch now.
Yeah, but anyways, he won, and I think it was just beautiful and sad. the movie that we gotta talk about, and oh, sorry, not yet. Soul won Best Animated Feature Film, and it's probably going to win at the Oscars in April. Best Animated Movie. I don't think anything's beating Soul.
Nothing compared to it.
Though I did really like Over the
Yeah,
Moon.
no, Over the Moon had nothing on Soul.
I said I liked it.
Yeah.
Over the Moon didn't have a whole lot on The Croods 2 either.
I didn't watch The Croods 2.
Okay.
It was good.
Is it 2 or 3? I thought it was on
2.
3.
No, it's
2.
only on 2.
Is Croods 1 and 2 actually good movies?
Croods 1 was a little like but Croods 2 was actually like a lot funnier. Yeah, I think you would like Croods 2. I think you would both like Croods 2.
Do you have to watch Croods 1 to watch Croods 2?
Well, it's
Probably
to
not.
understand the
It's a kid's
characters, probably so.
Okay.
Just because, like, some of them you would be like, well, how does this person relate to that person? Oh,
Okay.
well, you know.
Well, that makes
The
sense.
Croods 1 is funny. It's just that Croods 2 is a lot funnier.
Okay.
Okay. I might check it out. I don't know. All right. So yeah, Soul won. Well deserved. I don't have anything else to say except it won. I don't know. Do you guys have anything to add to Soul?
Oh, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
by far one of the best animated movies that's come out in years.
Years.
I found it comical that people were like, this doesn't like show religion the way we want it, and it's like, well, that's not what it's supposed to do. To be
Wait,
perfectly blunt.
Oh yeah. I
there was
know what
like
you're talking about.
like
It's
this
coming
whole
back.
so many people were like, I don't want my kids to see this because this doesn't portray the religious way I want it
That was not
portrayed,
the
and it's
purpose
like
of the
that's not
movie.
the purpose of this.
I cannot believe Jesus showed up in a bubble in that movie at the beginning. I was so offended.
What? Oh, Jesus showed
I'm
up?
just joking.
Oh,
I'm not actually being serious.
I was like, that didn't hurt my feelings.
No, I just making fun. No, I thought Soul was great because it didn't try to. It's good that it didn't try to portray any religion and kind of did its own thing, but yet it said enough about what it means to be human, what it means to be alive, what really matters.
Mother Teresa, I have compassion for all souls, except for you. I don't
No.
like
She said, "I have asked God for forgiveness for every sin, except for you." And I thought that was just great. Yeah. And then Abraham Lincoln said, like, "Oh, like it's okay. Well, they put you on a penny. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, but they put Jackson on the $20, $100 bill.
I think he's on the 20.
20?
Yeah.
Okay. And Abraham was just like, Jackson. That's literally like one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. But yeah, Soul won, well deserved. It's probably up there, but it's like there's 3 movies that I feel like are spiritual. There's Coco, there's Inside Out,
Yes.
and
love
now
Inside
I would
Out.
say Soul. I'd even put Up there.
I thought you
there.
were. I thought you were gonna say Wall-E.
Well,
It's not very spiritual. It's more sci-fi though.
Inside Out
It's
is
just not
good. Coco is spiritual.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What else is spiritual in the Pixar? Is that it? Toy Story, of course. Those toys coming to life. Gotta be something spiritual there. Just kidding.
Yes.
No. I'm
Finding
joking.
Nemo was so spiritual.
I mean, Dory and her 5-second memory. Just like, God, just give her a better memory. Can you just do it already? Anyways, I'm talking too much because I can go on. I have a lot of sugar today, and yeah. Anyways, Soul won. It was awesome. I'm glad it won. Onward was nominated. I forgot about that. So it was Over the Moon, Croods 2, Pixar's Onward that
Onward
you both
did not
loved.
get nominated?
No, it got nominated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it got
That was a
nominated.
good movie.
You both liked it. I was like, I'm out.
You
It's
liked
not working.
it.
I liked it, but it just didn't.
It wasn't the greatest
It wasn't
movie
that
I've ever
thing you were
seen,
looking
but-
for.
It's the brave and good dinosaur of Pixar or like Cars for me. It's very forgettable.
Yeah.
And there's a movie that I saw the trailer where I'm like, ugh, this has good dinosaur Onward vibes. I don't know if I'm
The
feeling
Luca
it.
one?
Yeah, I just have good dinosaur vibes, like Cars vibe.
The
I don't know.
animation is really weird on Luca.
Yeah, let's talk about it later because we're gonna ADD. But yeah, that was nominated, and and then the other one was the Apple release, Wolfwalkers. I don't know what it is. It looks cool. It's like a 2D imaging, it's a 2D animated movie about these mystical wolves and this girl who's raised by wolves, and it's an animated movie. looked cool. Maybe that's where HBO stole the idea for Raised by Wolves. I don't know. God knows, who knows. Anyway, so that was that. And then, of course, Best Television Series Drama was won by, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the Netflix Crown. Crown on Netflix. You guys have heard of it, right?
I've heard
the British family. It won every award. And the woman, first role playing, she plays Princess Diana in the movie. And that's her first role. And yeah, she won and it was awesome.
Okay.
Best Television Series, Musical and Comedy, Schitt's Creek. I think everyone just freaking loves that show, Schitt's
I
Creek.
couldn't get into it. I tried.
It's like the Arrested Development. I heard the first season's terrible, like Parks and Rec and The Office.
Okay.
So everybody's like, skip the first 2 seasons of Parks and Rec and then watch it, or and then it gets good. So I did that, and yeah, Parks and Rec was great.
Yeah.
Then I tried watching the first season of Parks and Rec, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
And The Office, same thing. Skip the first season, get to the second. I don't know why these comedies just suck at their first
They
season.
gotta find their footing.
How do they get a second season when they start that bad?
Because it's freaking Greg Daniels and he can do anything.
I think a lot of people give them chances because they're trying to figure out the characters and their footing. And once the chemistry and like you really have to do like 20 plus something episodes to really figure out what is the dynamic here, you know? Like the Jim and Dwight battle that starts isn't in the first season, but they just kind of realize like there's something here with Jim and Dwight, you know, like things like that. Okay, so the nominees for Best Picture this year for Motion Picture Drama were The Father, that you suggested and people want us to watch also, with Anthony Hopkins, and the chick who plays the queen in The Crown is the daughter, I think. Mank, which is the making of the Citizen Kane movie, that's black and white, also on Netflix, we'll review. Promising Young Woman, which we were supposed to see, but we just got really backed up. You've seen it. I think you recommended it. Or you liked it.
Yeah, Promising Young Woman. You guys are both gonna love that movie.
So we'll do like a full review of that.
Well, you're gonna have to, yeah.
Because I'm 90% sure this is going to be the list for Academy Awards too. And of course, my favorite movie of the year, The Trial of Chicago 7, which I think should have won Best Picture, but it's okay.
It was a good movie.
It's good, but I've already forgotten it all.
Jeez. Okay. So
It's good,
but the winner and the talk of the town is Nomadland. One of the most boring movies I've ever seen, but yet at one of the most great movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
so
it's
here's
both.
okay. Well, let's just slow down and let's just see why this movie is a big deal. Because so the cool thing about this movie was it is directed and written by Chloe Zhao. That's her name. She's Asian. This is her first movie. First movie.
That makes a lot of sense.
First movie.
It
so,
feels like a first
oh
movie.
my gosh.
But here's the crazy part.
It doesn't feel like a first movie to me. Cause
it doesn't feel like a first movie to me either.
This is like
this is a lot of drama.
Well, this feels a lot like Lady Bird, and it was great. That was great.
Lady Bird was not her first movie, though.
Yeah, it was.
The directors?
Yeah.
No, that was her 5th movie.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think it was her first big movie.
No,
you
no,
normally
no.
can't get a drama right the first time around.
Exactly.
That's what's so amazing about this.
So, first of all, let's just give a clap out being the first woman under the age of 30 to win Best Director and Best Picture. Never happened before.
Barbara Streisand had won in
Yes.
1981.
That was the last time, but this is the first Asian woman
Yeah.
to win, and she was 28 years old, which is a big
Wow,
deal.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Why I think this movie's a big deal, and okay, so here's my little quick preview. We're gonna do a full review of it later. Here's my non-spoiler review because me and George did get a chance to see it. Even though the movie is very slow, it does pick up after 30 minutes, but you have to wait 30 minutes. So just if you can bust through those 30 minutes, the movie does have a lot to say, and the characters do get interesting, but the first 20 minutes is a drag. I totally get that. And everybody's kind of on the...
also depressing.
It's also a tough story to watch, but here's
Yeah.
why I like it. This is based on a book about these people who are nomad. This is a true story. This is a documentary. People don't realize this. This is why this movie is winning every award and is up ahead against everything, because it's changing cinema.
Feels like a documentary.
Yeah, so everyone in this movie, except for Frances McDermott and the guy, There's only like a few people that are actually actors in this movie. There's
Really?
only everyone else are real people.
Oh.
So the woman with cancer, the people she meets on her journey to like these places that she has to stay at,
That makes a lot of sense.
the mechanic that she talks to when she's saying like, "Oh, my car broke down, I need to fix it." It's done in a way that nobody's ever done anything like. I'm literally waiting around because I'm a film critic and a film historian, and I love film. So for me, this movie is mind-blowing, but if you're just looking for, you know, the next Transformers or next Superman and Spider-Man, this movie's not going to be for you. But for the rest of us, it's actually really good because of what it's doing for film. I really appreciate how this girl, who's 8 years old, walked into her room and said, "I want to take this book and make it into a movie." The producer said, "Yeah, we're not doing that because this movie is hard to make as it is. You can do a fiction version." And she said, "No, I want to keep everyone in this book who's a real person, and I want them to play themselves." But they're like, "Wait, these people aren't actors. These people are real people." It's like, yeah, I know, but that's why it'll be authentic.
Yeah, it does feel authentic.
Yeah.
I said as I was watching it, this should have been a documentary. It feels like a documentary.
Right, so
It's basically a scripted documentary.
yeah, there's about 25 to 30% that's actually real acting and real story. 70, well, actually, that I can't say that because even though those people aren't actors, they're still acting, even though they're acting in their own story. So that guy who looks like Santa Claus, we thought it was funny, who created this Nomadland culture of people who retire, who can't afford healthcare and a house anymore, just kind of get into their vans or RVs, go find a place to park their cars and basically live and die there because they can't, because the housing market and the middle class is dying, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a new subculture of like what that looks like. These people are trying to get jobs at Amazon, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, anything they can, but it's not enough to survive. The people who are retiring can't afford to retire to Florida like they wanted. They are suffering and they're dying. So they're having to choose to live in these RVs. And it does a really great job of showing you that culture and what it looks like. It does a really good job when she gets to the place where the guy who started this whole thing, the guy who looks like Santa Claus, that they referred to, he's like got big on YouTube. He just started saying like, "Hey, look, here's how I survive. If you want to come along, we can park and live in nature and die, be free." So that's really awesome, and you get to see him do that. He's a real person, and he's kind of sharing his story within the movie. I mean, she knocked it out. Like, Chloe Zhao, I'm freaking excited to see what she does because people don't think like her. People don't have an understanding on how to make movies like her. She can come in and change the game. And, like, that's what you're looking for in film. Not doing the same repeated story over and over again, but something new and different and challenging. And she wrote it, she directed it, and of course, I'm excited to see her next movie. Marvel just hired her for one of the biggest, she's doing The Eternals, which is supposed to be released in November.
She's doing The Eternals?
She wrote and directed it.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be good.
So, well, I mean, like, here's the thing. This is like a small indie movie.
That's true.
That got attention. How's she gonna do with a big budget, blockbuster, Disney, $500 million budget movie? I mean,
Yeah.
and she's only 28. Like, this is her second movie. Like, people don't get Disney, Pixar, like Star Wars and Avengers until they're like 10th or 12th movie. This girl just went from winning Best Picture to like Marvel and like Disney Marvel saying like, "Hey, here's a $500 million budget. Go make it turn." Like she must be that amazing for Disney to trust her to that level. Like Jon Favreau had to work his ass off from the 90s all the way to 2000s before he was trusted with the MCU and Star Wars, and now he's like the godfather of Star Wars, like the spiritual father of Star Wars right now, and taking the reign from George Lucas. People had to work and wait 10, 20 years to get that kind. The guy who directed Black Panther had to wait 10 years. He did the guy who got shot by police in LA and there were riots. He did a small movie about that. I can't remember. Michael B. Jordan was in it, and he plays the villain in Black Panther. But that was, by the time he did Black Panther, that was like his, like he did Creed and like other movies and slowly built up his resume to get to like a big blockbuster like, Black Panther. I mean, there must be something special about this girl for Disney Marvel to say, hey, you can write, direct, produce, do whatever you want, all hands off, and here's $500 million.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. You guys got anything to add?
I don't know either. I don't know that. I'm just so shocked by
It's a lot
that.
of money.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so we'll see how that goes. I think so back to the movie. I think you should watch it because I think if you understand what's happening on screen, how these people are real, and it is kind of like a documentary, but some people, like the main actress, Frances McDormand, is actually acting. She's a fictional character who is walking into a real world, real people, real culture, real things, but she is kind of us. She's like the audience, and we are seeing the world and the world around her through her eyes. It's really beautiful, and the more I do research on it, the more I just think it's kind of like a movie shouldn't like this work, but it works because, and it's not flashy. It's very authentic to that world. It doesn't try to make it cool or funny or like very dramatic. No, it's just like, hey, like this is the world. This is what that world looks like. These are the people. This is what they have to do to survive. This is how they live. This is how they have kind of started this new like American. It is an American society, American story for today's America. And it's very, very, very well done to that level. And I can see, like, I want Chicago Trial 7 to win, but I think this movie is doing something that is more magical and more special than any of those movies. So, you finished the movie. Tell me what your thoughts are.
It was amazing. It was extremely artistic, I would have to say. Obviously the filmography on it is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Which I think is one of the reasons why, like, I'm so shocked. Like, this is her first film, and she did something that amazing.
Yeah.
I would have to say it's not a movie I'm like interested in because I'm not interested about living on the road and what that entails.
Yeah.
But it's like it's still an absolutely amazing movie. She did a fantastic job of putting that together, and it won Best Picture for a reason.
Yeah, and so I'm like I said, I'm excited to see what she does next. I think she has obviously a lot of potential. I think Marvel's definitely, like Disney Marvel definitely saw something special in her, and I hope she knocks Eternals out of the park. I mean, I think at a certain point, you do have to realize like Eternals is basically the Genesis, the book Genesis of the Bible of the MCU. The Eternals were bored; they were gods, and they just have existed. The Eternals, they were basically gods, and they were just so bored that they decided to create the universe, the Marvel, and that's how the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the comics in the Marvel Universe started.
Oh, really?
And when they created the universe, they used these gems that became the Infinity Stones that Thanos has. As we see, they're kind of like the building material to build universes. Like that's what they created. That's why Thanos was able to wipe out half the people across the universe, because that's what those stones are supposed to do. They're like godlike powers, and you really can't hold them in your hands, as you can see. That's why Iron Man dies when he snaps his finger, because they're not meant to be held by people that are not superheroes. Even Hulk got damaged, and Hulk never gets damaged.
No,
and
even
like
Thanos lost his arm pretty much.
Yeah, like in the comics, the Hulk takes a nuclear bomb that's about to explode, eats it, and then says that was a dessert. And like,
Yeah.
And then like when he was holding the gauntlet, it still damaged him. A guy who just ate a nuclear bomb can't die, but the gems destroyed his
Can
hand.
we talk about how great WandaVision is?
Yeah, we can get there. Hold on. So
WandaVision's amazing.
we have to do a review for it after it's done, which we will do, of course, because there's
I still
only
haven't
one
seen
more
it.
I have a
episode left.
lot to say
I
about
still haven't
WandaVision.
seen the latest episode.
Oh,
yet.
dude, it is
It's
so good.
Oh my god.
And that chick from Parks and Rec, she is killing it. I can't even talk about it right now. I really can't. I'm just gonna ADD, and then we're gonna get distracted because we have so much to get through. But like, anyways, these guys were just so bored. They used these stones. They created the universe. They were still bored, and they're like, you know what we should do? We should erase our memories because we're just so bored and we can't die. Let's go live on different planets and not have any memories that we are gods. And that's where the Eternals movie starts. I don't know what the hell this girl is gonna do, but the budget and the story sounds absolutely epic.
It sounds exactly like Brie Larson in the that one boring movie where she didn't have her memory and didn't know she was God.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but she was erased. Her memory was erased by another alien species. Eternals is different because
They decided to do it to themselves.
they're gods. It's
they
like
still have powers.
Yeah.
I don't know how Eternals can work because they're gods. Like I said, I don't really know what you can do with that. But I'm excited to see. Like, I mean, I trust. I do not trust Disney Marvel because okay, sure, you didn't like Captain Marvel, but their missteps like Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, Thor 1 or 2,